Hey guys and gals, I'm Rose the Raver with iHeart Raves, and today I'm here to teach you how to make a multi-stitch cuff. Multi-stitch cuffs are made up of rows of beads that create pictures or patterns. The first thing you're going to want to do is select a pattern. I suggest checking out candypatterns.com. Click on the multi-stitch button at the top and browse away until you find something you like. I chose this smiley face pattern, but I'm going to make a few changes to personalize it. Once you've found a pattern, I recommend printing it out so you can write on it, make edits, or cross off boxes. At the bottom of the pattern, it will have a bead count and tell you how many you need of each color. It may or may not have numbers on the pattern, but I'll go over what that means later. Now you'll need to get supplies. For this candy project, you will need a pattern, beads as specified on the pattern, elastic, lots and lots, scissors, a plastic yarn needle, not needed but very helpful, and small cups or bowls. Again, not needed but very helpful. Let's get started. As I mentioned before, I'm going to personalize my pattern. I changed the background to black and the headphones to purple. So for my project, I will need 174 black, 60 yellow, and 56 purple. If your pattern doesn't have numbers on it, you'll want to write them out, starting in the lower left-hand corner and continuing in a diagonal line until you reach the top. Then the rest of the beads in that row are the same number as the ones you labeled. Note that the bottom two rows are both labeled 1. Grab your elastic and string on the bottom rows labeled 1. For my pattern, that's 6 black, a yellow, 15 black, a yellow, 9 black, and then tie it off. Leave the elastic as long as you are comfortable working with, and know that you can tie on more elastic later as needed for your project. Now take the elastic and string it through the first bead on your single. Then string on the first bead from row 2, in my case black, and pull your elastic or needle through the third bead on your base single and pull it tight. String on the second bead from row 2 and pull the elastic through the 5th bead on your base single. Keep following this pattern, stringing a bead, skipping a bead on the base, and stringing through the next bead on the base. This will create a 1-2, 1-2 pattern all the way around. When you get to the last bead in row 2, you will pull the elastic through the last bead of the base single and the first bead in row 2. Your cuff will still be really flat, but will start to build up around row 3 or 4. I like to double check my pattern at the end of each row to ensure I didn't make any mistakes. Hang with me for a minute. This is where it gets a bit confusing. Remember that diagonal line of numbers you wrote out at the beginning of your pattern? Well, that's where you're going to start for each row and then loop back around to finish off the row. So for the next row, row 3, take the second bead from row 3, in my case black, and string the elastic through the second bead in row 2. You will follow the same pattern as before, stringing a bead, skipping a bead on the base, and stringing through the next base bead. This row should be a little easier to see where to string the bead through because the bead you are stringing through pops up in this row and will in all future rows. Keep following the pattern and pulling the elastic tight as you go. I like to string 3 beads and then pull it tight to save time. I find that pulling it through more than 3 beads becomes difficult. When you get to the end, remember to go back and string the first bead from row 3, then pull through the last bead in row 2 and the first bead in row 3. Keep following this pattern with each row, remembering to start your rows from that diagonal line you created at the beginning. By the end of row 4, your cuff should start to take shape and build upwards. Keep following this pattern until you have finished and then tie it off and cut the elastic. Now that you know how to make a cuff, I'm going to go over ways to edit the pattern. Changing the bead colors, as I already showed you, is a fun way to make the design more personal. Another way you might want to edit the pattern is size. Most of the patterns are very small around, but that's easy to adjust. For my pattern, I just added 2 more columns of black to the end to increase the circumference. If you are going to add beads, just remember to add them in sets of even numbers or you may alter your design. My pattern was easy to add beads to because the sides where they meet are both solid colors. Some patterns may be more difficult to alter. Just keep that in mind. Once you've gained confidence in your skills, you can check out the Pattern Maker on candypatterns.com where you can create your own patterns. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial and would love to see the cuffs you guys create. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. We'd love to hear your feedback. What do you want to see? Tune in next time where I'll be teaching you how to make a 3D cuff. I'm Rose and I Heart Raves. Do you? Hey guys and gals, I'm Rose the Raver from I Heart Raves, and today I'm here to teach you some candy basics. But first, let me